The Chapter 5 map might have just been revealed, and not only that, but the entire backstory to the Triarchy. With tons of hidden secrets scattered across the newest Fortnite update, there's a lot to discuss, so I'm not going to waste any time. If you'd like to support me in the item shop, my code is TLL the Reaper. It really does mean a whole lot to me when you use it, so huge thank you to everyone who does. Without further ado, let's explore the depths of the Triarchy. Triarch Aurora was added to the game, and with that, a whole lot of her upcoming dialogue. Throughout the next couple weeks, she'll give us quests to earn level up tokens, all while giving us the answers we've been waiting for. Part 1 kicks off with Triarch Aurora arriving to the island and asking us for help in finding the traitor Triarch Knox. As we begin to help her, she tells us that Triarch Knox's domain used to be safety and rest. He provided comfort during the night. If you've been following the story since at least his arrival in Season 2, you'd know right off the bat that this does not sound like the Knox we know. But don't worry, we'll find out soon why he changed. After this, Aurora suddenly reveals a massive piece of their story, saying, since our kingdom fell, he has grown restless and dangerous. After we help her search further, she comes to the realization that Knox had fled the island already. In the part 2 of the quests, she elaborates on her kingdom. Before our realm fell, we split the duties of ruling in perfect harmony. Our realm stretched across stars. It was glorious and free. We were happy. Even in difficult times, we were happy. But then, Aurora's dialogue takes a turn, and she reveals the tragedy that led her to the mission she's on today. I failed, and our glorious stars went dark. Triarch Knox and I are all that's left. This is a bombshell of information. The third Triarch, whoever it may be, is either dead or missing. It's extremely possible that whatever force or army that attacked the Triarchy and their kingdom could have also killed the third Triarch in battle. This immediately leaves us with a lot of questions, and thankfully a couple answers. It doesn't seem like this Triarchy is who we originally thought they were. They're not evil warlords from the last reality, and they certainly were never bad in the first place. They peacefully ruled their own empire together out in the stars, until something attacked them, destroying everything they had, and leaving Aurora and Knox stranded. While much of this is still a mystery, we have 2 more parts of dialogue, so let's continue Aurora's story. She finds that several of Cato Thorne's strongholds have traces of Triarch Knox. Before she elaborates, she recalls back on something she discovered after their kingdom's destruction. After Triarch Knox abandoned us, his travels became erratic. I discovered traces of an entity he had encountered, a decaying force. The stories I heard did not match the peaceful, kind Triarch Knox I had known. Knox had been like family to me. Now he was dangerous. I tracked his scent through shredded galaxies and ruined realities. Traces of him led me to your island, nestled into a quiet corner of infinity. And with that, part 3 is concluded. Aurora reveals that she had found remnants of an entity that Knox had encountered sometime before her. But the important thing to note is that she specifically refers to it as a decaying force. A force is something that's shapeless, and when something decays, it decays into nothing. She also was sure to mention that it was an entity, so it was sentient too. This all leads us to believe that Triarch Knox had come in contact with none other than the Shapeless Man, aka the Nothing. Not only does this perfectly fit her description of shred galaxies and ruined realities, which were likely a result of the last reality or Triarch Knox after the Nothing corrupted him, but it also explains his sudden shift in personality. Aurora described him as kind and peaceful, the exact opposite of the destructive and evil character we met a couple seasons prior. And the final nail in the coffin to Knox having encountered the Nothing was his goals once he reached here. Immediately after arriving, he went straight to the Peace Syndicate's data network and wiped out all intel they had on the last reality. This obviously led us to believe that him and the Triarchy were all from the last reality, but as it turns out, with what Triarch Aurora has revealed, they've ruled their own independent kingdom forever. They've never had any contact with the last reality, so why would Knox suddenly head straight to our quiet corner of infinity, as Aurora called it, to wipe information on an army he doesn't work for? Well, it'd make perfect sense if the Nothing corrupted his mind, forcing him to carry out its tasks like it does for everyone under its influence. Now that we figured out who he encountered and how Triarch Knox became who he was when he arrived, let's dive into the final part of her quests. Aurora starts this off by telling us that Triarch Knox has been exploring Cato Thorne's vaults, searching for something. She finds that Cato did in fact have a relic of their former kingdom, but it's gone. nowhere to be found. Aurora hopes Triarch Knox took it, possibly to restore their home to its former glory. And with that, she says her goodbyes and sets off in hopes of following him and seeing if he plans to rebuild their home. As it turns out, the Triarchy was a team of pure and good-hearted leaders, all ruling a glorious and free kingdom across the stars. Something evil attacked them and led to the disappearance or death of the third Triarch and the fleeing of Knox. Knox ended up running into the nothing and was most likely corrupted. But what does this mean about the culprits of the Triarchy's destruction? Who would be powerful enough to take them all down, possibly even defeating one of their members? Well, I think it's safe to say it's the same person who found Knox later on to take him as his own, the Nothing. But it's more likely that the last reality is what did the real dirty work. The Nothing, as we've seen so far, doesn't do much more than just recruiting for its omniversal team of threats. The last reality, however, is the Grand Army directly under its control, and the one doing all of the wrecking. After all that, this leaves us with another question. What relic did Kato Thorn have? To find this answer, we should look towards the same place Knox and Aurora were first revealed, the concept art surveys. Amongst the designs, we can see an explorer that seems to transform into a golden monster, but the object she's holding is what's truly important. We can see what appears to be a golden cube with a light blue flame burning inside. Whatever this object is, she uses it to transform into a creature of what we can assume is intense power. Could she really be the third Triarch? Well, no, let me explain. Triarch Knox was looking for an object within Kato Thorn's vaults. We know that Kato loves to collect golden expensive items, making this glowing cube a likely candidate, but it's gone. Either Knox found it and took it, or someone else broke in and stole it before he could. I believe that this artifact was the third Triarch's, and they used it to transform into their armor. But when the Triarchy's kingdom was left in the rubble, and possibly the third Triarch with it, this artifact might have been flung off somewhere in space, leading to Kato Thorn discovering it and adding it to his collection. If this golden cube is truly a remnant of Nox's fallen ally, he might have been trying to retrieve it to bring them back and restore their kingdom once and for all. But like I said, it's gone, and we happen to have a character in the surveys that seems to be an explorer, someone who take great interest in studying a powerful artifact. And evident by the fact that there's a style with her fully transformed into a yellow creature, it's likely that she uses this artifact and becomes the new Triarch to replace the past one that had fallen. This could be Fortnite's way of allowing us to see the fallen Triarch, since she may have perished in the kingdom's attack. We could see this explorer appear in Season 5 or maybe sometime in Chapter 5, since we received Aurora 2 seasons after Knox's release. I'd like to give a huge shout out to my friend Timeless Order on Twitter for discussing this theory and bringing it to my attention, because it's a super good point and feels extremely likely, so please go give them a follow. There's another question that arises with this theory though. If this lady with the cube artifact truly is using an item that a past Triarch possessed, what does that mean about the creation of the cubes themselves? This golden cube, which mind you is what the Cube Queen travels in, being directly from the kingdom of the Triarchy, implies that the cubes actually originated from them and not the last reality, which means the cubes were actually good until the last reality attacked their kingdom and stole them to use as weapons, infusing the essence of the nothing within them to create the evil creatures we see rolling around today. The backstory of the Triarchy has allowed us to learn a lot. Aurora and Knox are survivors of what we can only assume was a brutal last reality attack, and the cubes may have actually originated from the peaceful kingdom that the Triarchy ruled over amongst the stars. But in typical me fashion, I'm not done just yet. Could this ongoing story of the Triarchs actually lead us to discovering where Chapter 5 takes place? Well, for starters, we know that Aurora described their kingdom as a realm that stretched across stars. She also said it was glorious and free, and everyone was happy. Last season, when Sloane was discussing the evil that was arriving to the island, she mentioned, "Is that what the previous residents did? Find some true home among the stars?" Well, if Knox is truly on a mission to rebuild his former kingdom, we could possibly see the Triarchy's realm as our Chapter 5 island, our glorious and free true home. Think about it like this. Since the very beginning, we've been on a quest to finally be free. To first escape the IO, then to escape the loop, now to escape the last reality. It's been an endless cycle of danger around every corner, like a loop. But hearing about how free and safe the Triarchy's kingdom was, it sounds like the perfect place to arrive to for Chapter 5, the true home amongst the stars that Sloane was telling us about, led by Aurora, a reformed Knox, and possibly this new Triarch once she discovers her newfound powers. This could all play into the the Greek-themed survey outfits we have too, since this vast, luxurious world the Triarchs ruled over could very well be ancient. To tie it all together, we got one last goodie in this update. Fortnite introduced custom lobby backgrounds for creative islands, but also provided a wide selection of high-quality stock backgrounds they made for us to use. Some of these seem like cool remixes of the past, like the Last Stop loading screen or even Chapter 2 Season 8, but there's 3 that seem to stand out in particular. One of them is a highly detailed and intricate desert background with a large pyramid and civilization built within. To me, this looks like a crazy amount of effort to put into a creation like this for it to simply be a stock image for a lobby. And we have an open world game mode coming our way soon that has a desert listed as one of its upcoming biomes. For the next one, we have a Greek temple hidden within the clouds, which matches perfectly to the Greek themes we've been hinted at recently. But instead of this being a biome in the open world, we actually have a new racing mode arriving in Chapter 5 too, with one of its maps codenamed Olympus. If you're not a Greek nerd like I am, Olympus is the tallest mountain in Greece, where all of the gods and goddesses live. So one of the maps being named Olympus and us having this lobby background of a Greek temple could go hand in hand. Finally, we have this intriguing image of a black hole, seemingly through a dirty window in a spaceship. If we end up using the time machine to travel back in time, we could end up seeing the past events of Chapter 1 replay themselves, leading up to the black hole for a second time. Seeing as to how Fortnite has evolved much since then, I wouldn't be surprised if they went for more of a realistic route like this, or even allowing us to escape the black hole and watch it from a distance. I know that last one is super far-fetched, but the desert and Olympus ones seem very interesting, given they both match up to upcoming game modes in Chapter 5. Could these all be pieces of the Triarchy's realm, or will these game modes be entirely separate from the lore? Well, given the fact that we have loads of Greek survey skins, I'd assume the game modes would be intertwined with the storyline, leading to Greek cosmetics, locations, and so much more. That's it for today, Reapers. A complete breakdown of the Triarchy story, what a lot of it secretly meant, and even how it could be teasing us of Chapter 5. Thank you all so much for watching. Use code TLL the Reaper in the item shop if you'd like to support me. Until next time, keep it reaping.